everyone, it's Zzoffer and I am back with another video. So, quite recently, I do believe it was the 30th of October, Wicked, the musical, had its 15th anniversary. That's hard to say for some reason. And I wanted to pay tribute to that, so I am doing some Wicked fan art for you today. I originally wanted to upload this video on the actual day of the anniversary, but I very quickly realized that I wouldn't be able to manage that in time because I had a lot of schoolwork that needed doing, and I had my Inktober, which more on that later, and everything. So I just decided that I was gonna upload it in the weekend instead. Wicked is one of my absolute favorite musicals ever, and I went to see it in London this summer and it was amazing and I just love it so much. So I definitely wanted to do some fan art for it. I mean, this is just a good excuse, really, because I always want to do fan art for Wicked. And I feel like I want to do so many different things. Like, I want to do a piece of art for every song that there is, almost. And maybe I'll do that one day. That would be cool, actually, to have like a series of fan art for every song in Wicked, or most of the songs. Maybe not every song, but most of them. But the thing that I felt most inspired to draw today was a scene from As Long As You're Mine, which is, it's such a good song, and it's just like, it's been really stuck in my brain recently, so I wanted to do that one. And here in the beginning, you see me trying to draw Elphaba and Fiyero when they're sitting in the, I don't know where they are, a forest maybe? Let's say it's a forest. But yeah, I wanted to draw them sitting there next to each other, or I guess opposite of each other. You know what I mean. I wanted to draw that scene that happens. But it was really, really hard to get Fiyero to look right. I feel like I drew a bunch of different Elphabas that looked kind of good, but the Fiyero just never turned out how I wanted him to. That was until finally I just gave up, and then I opened my laptop computer, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like do a doodle or whatever, and then I ended up drawing this, and please pay close attention to this. Because even though this is just like a tiny thumbnail, I feel like it's really good, and I actually maybe think that it's better than the finished piece because I ended up kind of screwing it up a bit. So just keep this in mind when you see the finished drawing, because I really like this one and this was what I wanted, and I don't think that I achieved this exactly, but you'll see. So yeah, sadly I do not have the sketching process for this first thumbnail or rough sketch or whatever you want to call it, and I did also turn off the recording software for a lot of the failure in the beginning. I included it because you guys have been saying that you like to see me fail, maybe not in those words, but that you like to see my sketches that don't work out for me. So I included some of those, and I really tried hard to not turn off the software too much, but I did end up doing it sometimes, so I'm sorry about that. But I wanted to draw a very particular moment in the song, and it's when Fiyero starts singing. And it's the part where he goes, "Somehow I've fallen under your spell." And there's this one recording on YouTube of the original cast doing this song, and he does like a thing with his hands. He does a thing with his hands when he says spell, like he's like, ooh, magic spell, and I think it's really cute. So I wanted to include that in here. You might also have noticed that I am not drawing original Fiyero. I'm drawing long-haired Fiyero. And that's because when I went to watch this musical, I do believe that the guy who was playing Fiyero had long hair, or I am sure that the guy who was playing Fiyero had long hair. I'm not completely sure of who the actor was, but he definitely had long hair. So to me, the real Fiyero is long-haired Fiyero. I don't think I ever got to my point that I was trying to get at before because I got distracted by long-haired Fiyero. But I wanted to draw that pose where he's like, ooh, magic spell. But it's really hard, and the only reference I had was one where his legs were cut off. And I even tried going in at school one day and doing this in 3D so that I could capture the poses, like posing some 3D rigs so that I could go in and take pictures. But that wasn't working out because the 3D rigs that we have aren't meant to be compressed this much. So I just gave up. And then, as I said, yeah, I did it on my laptop. And I guess just without the pressure and just thinking that it wasn't gonna matter, I was able to actually capture a pretty nice pose. I don't know if this is the best alphabet that I've ever drawn. She turned out kind of weird. I think actually in the end they both turned out kind of weird looking. I've been doing a bunch of studies in my sketchbook of Fiero, and then I did a couple of alphabet. I almost called her Elsa. Brain. Because I wanted to make sure that they looked different enough. Because if Fiero has long dark hair and a chiseled face, then I'm like, but that's basically alphabet, right? I mean, I like to draw my alphabets with chiseled faces, so I wanted to make sure that they wouldn't blend together too much. So I decided that I was gonna, instead of have a long, sharp, chiseled nose on alphabet, I was gonna give her more of like a curvy bird nose, if you know what I mean. And I think that kind of threw me off. Right now she's looking kind of okay, actually. Maybe. I don't know. I can't tell anymore. I've been staring at this for too long. You tell me. Do you think alphabet looks okay? Another thing is alphabet's dress. Whew, Jesus. It's really hard to draw from this angle, actually. Like, this shoulder part is super hard to figure out because it's foreshortened and stuff, and it's really complicated. And also, like, I didn't put in as much detail as her actual dress has. I tried to simplify it because I didn't want to die. But I attempted to line art her skirt a bunch of different times because I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to go for. Because this is not what the actual skirt looks like. It doesn't have these ruffles. But I didn't know how to represent her actual skirt because it would be too much work if I had to draw it how it actually looks. So I decided to go for something more stylized. And here you see I'm going back in with another sketch layer. Thank you. Because I just needed more of a blueprint of what I needed to do with the line art. It was too confusing for me. So I ended up just making the layers these ruffles that has like a trim on the bottom, which is not what it looks like, sadly, but it's the best that I could do. And I think it represents it well enough. When I was doing it, I kept thinking that this is actually a lot more like Glinda's dress from Popular, because she has these ruffled layers with a trim on the bottom. And I did try to draw her dress at one point. I actually recorded a video, but then I ended up hating the drawing so much that I never uploaded it. So maybe you guys will get to see that at some point, but probably not. If you really want to see it, I can maybe show you a picture of it, but it's really bad. You don't want to see it. It sucks. Which also reminds me that I'm doing this in Photoshop because for some reason my tablet does not want to work together with my usual program. I usually use Paint Tool Psi, which in my opinion is easier to work with, and I can't really art in Photoshop. I don't know why, but I just can't. But my tablet isn't cooperating with the program anymore, and I don't know why that is. It's because I have two monitors, so every time that I go into the program, it just switches back to two monitors, and I want my tablet to only be on one monitor. Otherwise it gets too small and I can't really do anything. I can't really use it. So I always set my programs to only have the tablet on one monitor. But every time that I go into that program, it just jumps back to two monitors. And I tried uninstalling the program, uninstalling my tablet driver, and doing everything, and it still isn't working. So I don't know what's up with that. But it seems like I can't use that program anymore. So now I have to try and figure out how to use Photoshop. I don't really like Photoshop for illustration. Which is why it's looking the way it is. I'm not sure that I like this. I tried to go for more of like a painterly but then with cel shading on top kind of look. And I'm not sure that I like it so much. Maybe it's just the drawing that I don't like. I don't know. There's just something about it that I'm like, this was better in the beginning. Do you remember when I told you to remember that small thumbnail sketch thing, yeah, think about that one now, because I'm not super happy about the way that this turned out. I mean, it's totally okay. I had something else in mind, I think. And then I got kind of disappointed when that didn't like plop out onto the canvas. But yeah, I wanted to kind of give them a background here so that they wouldn't just be floating in white space. So I went in and did some fog, and I did some blues because the lighting is kind of blue in this scene. And I did some, yeah, gave them some lighting and put some effects on top so that they would feel like they were in the scene and not just a highly saturated drawing on top of this blue scene. I think maybe I made it too dark or something. I don't know. I'm not super happy about this. I mean, it's a perfectly good drawing. It's just not what I wanted it to be, sadly. Anyway, we're almost at the end of the video now, so I hope you guys enjoyed watching and that you liked the drawing that I came up with in the end. And please let me know in the comments down below what your favorite song from Wicked is. Yeah. I think mine might be For Good. Yeah, that's a really good one. I should do some art for that one. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see me do art for all of the Wicked songs. But that is about it for this video. Here, as you can see, is the finished art piece. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. I think I said that already. Okay, I will see you later. Bye!